All right, hi, Mark Savage, Savage on Wheels. You know, guys like me and Paul, we grew up in the 60s and we fell in love with the VW brand, mainly as a Beetle and as little microbuses. Not so big a deal anymore, the Beetles and microbuses. Bigger things are the deal now. SUVs, crossovers, and so VW has now expanded its lineup. And a couple of years back, they did the Atlas, nice 3 rows of seats. Very competitive, I think, with the cars and trucks that people think of as the family vehicles for the bigger families. And rides nice, all that good stuff. Well, they decided, you know, not everybody wants 3 rows of seats, so they decided to go from an Atlas to an Atlas Cross Sport. This is our Cross Sport right here. It sounds sporty, but I don't know how sporty you really think this is because it's a big vehicle. But you know what's different about this than the Atlas? It doesn't have the 3rd row seat. It's also about 5 inches shorter in the back, and if you look back here, they've angled this a little bit more, so it looks a little bit sportier. I would not call this a sport vehicle, but it does have a little nicer lines, I think, than the regular Atlas does. And what that also means is that they shortened it by 5 inches, and you've got massive space in here. Even by taking that 5 inches up, you just got a huge storage area in here. Obviously the seats can fold down, which makes it even bigger, and they added a little bit of leg room in that back seat, so that for 5 people this is a very comfortable vehicle. We're taking a little spin in the Atlas Cross Sport right now, and you know, we're on a nice smooth road, so that's great. But what my experience has been is that this does not ride as smooth as the Atlas itself. Now it's funny because they're on the same wheelbase, same engine, same transmission. This has 21-inch wheels and tires, so I'm thinking that maybe that is playing a role in that it's a little more of a harsh ride. So when we hit a bump, you feel a little bit more. Other than that, still has good power as the Atlas itself does. You got 2 engine choices, 2-liter turbo, gets about 232 horsepower, I think it is, and this one is the V6 version, and it gets about 276 horsepower. So their torque is actually very similar because the turbo has a lot of torque. But this thing, what I've noticed is I can almost spin the wheels here on some of these when I accelerate quickly. Not a lot of engine noise transmitted inside. It's a pretty quiet interior, so that's nice also. So what it doesn't do is it doesn't get great gas mileage with the V6. It's rated like 16 to 23. I've been noticing on the computer here it's normally between 19 and 20, and I've been on the highway a fair amount. So you know, you're gonna have to pay a little extra for the gasoline on this one. A nice interior on the Volkswagen here. We've got a good sized screen. Here, we'll at least put the radio on here so we can see what's what. Nice sized radio and screen, and obviously the infotainment and the navigation and everything to do that. Also, you can adjust the navigation so that it shows up on your dash over here, right in the main frame of the instrument panel, so that the driver doesn't even have to look off to the side. He can just look straight down. That's a nice feature. Heated seats, 3 levels. We got a heated steering wheel, a little button up here on the wheel. Again, nice gauges, nice and wide. We can adjust it with a couple of buttons here, so you can see whether you want to see the speedometer, whether you want to see your trip computer, and so forth. Got fancy Fender speaker system here, and nice stereo in the car. So that's a nice feature. And I got a giant sunroof overhead. I'm sure Paul will be able to show you this thing, but we'll punch the button here and open up big panoramic sunroof. There's a wiper on the back window. That's always nice. And there's a wireless charger down underneath the main instrument cluster here on the center stack. So we can charge it. Well, we can charge your camera down here too, I suppose, Paul. But our phones we can lay in there. A lot of adjustments that we can do here, and that is we punch the button, it'll light up here. We got eco. We can go to eco mode. Here, I got to back up again. We can go snow, regular, normal, sport. It keeps going away on me. And a customized thing that we can do there. So we got a number of ways we can run the car here. I have found that the normal mode is probably where you want to be most of the time, because otherwise the shocks are even stiffer. It's kind of fun to have the wheels stiffen up for you and give you more of a sporty driving feel for that, but I prefer to have a little bit smoother ride because I'm not a young guy anymore. So it's a real nice interior, easily, you know, power seats, all that good stuff, power lumbar support, and exactly what you would expect in a $45,000 to $50,000 vehicle. Certainly everything that you would want. VW Atlas Cross Sport, a beautiful blue one that we had here today. They're really priced about the same as the Atlas. They start around $31,000, go up to about $51,000. This one's on the $51,000 edge because this is the SEL R-Line premium model. So it's got basically everything on it, and you know, everything you'd want for $51,000. Seats 5. You could get it for a little less. This has all-wheel drive. You can get it without the all-wheel drive, or 4Motion as VW likes to call it. So anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000. That's a pretty big range. There's like 14 different models that you can get of this, depending on whether you got all-wheel drive and so forth. So nice family vehicle. I kind of like the 3-row a little bit better though.